So, hey guys, Chauzu here. So this is a bit of a bonus treasure map video because I usually make a video with my accessible teams and then the teams I will be using, but this time I have the full treasure map booster batch, but a lot of people won't have it, but they will have some or all of the New Year legends. So I thought let's do a little bit of an in between here and talk about how you can build for the bosses mainly using the New Year legends. So yeah, let's jump into it. I'm only going to go through the two main bosses for this video, and it's going to be more of a discussion really. The first thing I did was to try and do the maximum possible boost I could get without using the trash map boosters, mainly using the New Year legends. And from that we can discuss a bit what if I don't have Roger and Odin, what if I don't have Zoro, Sanji, stuff like that. So first we have the main boss, and I was able to fit most of the 1.4 times boosters. The only one we're missing is Whitebeard, but the main annoyance with this one is the fact that there is a revive where you get special bind and paralysis, and that's what we need both the Luffy and Shanks for, because this Luffy that I plan to use on that revive, he handles the special bind but not the paralysis, and then this Shanks handles the paralysis. So that's the plan for the revive. For all teams here, I will be assuming that we use the new Luffy legend as friend captain. He actually can handle special bind and paralysis, but he doesn't inherently resist special bind as a captain, so you can only use it to remove special bind with his super. If he's friend captain but you get special bind on 2 occasions, you can only remove it with him once. But yeah, let's talk about how you should play out this boss with the New Year legends. Basically, one cool thing is that the super star production this time is 7 instead of the usual 5. This is big for 2 reasons. Firstly, Zoro Sanji are ready from the beginning. The other thing is that you can reliably get Yamato charged. So here I have the Nami support on Yamato, not needed. But the main thing with that is that if you use the Nami support, you don't need to use Yamato's EX. 4 C reductions is a bit faster, but you can still just swap Yamato every stage and you will get the EX ready and you won't need the Nami. So the Nami is optional. Another thing that is very annoying with this content is on stage 2, where you get a full board of poison orbs. And yeah, there's basically no way to remove them. So the best bet is, well, there's 2 bets. One is to either remove them by tapping, which might be viable, but since that needs to be done with testing, I prefer to not recommend a team doing that. So I recommend option 2, which is to prevent the poison orbs preemptively, which we can do with the Luffy. We have both Zoro, Sanji and Yamato, so you can use Luffy's super and special. I don't know why I talked about the super now, but I mean the special. We're going to use Luffy's special turn 1. Just make sure you try and keep as many rainbow orbs as possible. Mainly aim to kill with the middle row if possible. In the end, it will need to do some testing, like maybe the turtles are strength. You can't kill them with Zoro Sanji if they are dex. So maybe shuffle or start with Sanji and end up with Zoro versus the boss as dex. That's the kind of stuff you have to weigh pros and cons for. In the end, I think the damage is going to be so big, especially if you have full batch, that it won't really matter. But yeah, the plan is to keep as many orbs as you can. Luffy will give top and bottom row rainbow orb. Yamato can get a Wano orb, but since there will be 2 turtles, you're only going to be able to keep 4 orbs no matter what, so keep that in mind. Other than that, it also looks like they have a lot of enemy this stage, so if you have a lot of the badge and you're good with damage final stage, then I'd probably recommend using Roger and Odin stage 2 as well. It will probably clear out all of the mobs and make this stage super easy, especially if the damage doesn't stack. There's also a special bind here, which you need to use the Frank Captain Luffy's super to get rid of. Then, when we move on to final stage, we take an 80% HP cut, which is actually really good. This will mean that the Luffy auto launches for final stage, which means that Luffy himself, the Frank Captain, will get rid of the paralysis and give a good attack boost. So that's really nice. All that's left then is the damage reduction, which Yamato will handle. We have the special reverse, which we already talked about. You can use Zoro Sanji's super swap here and special to get the attack and ore boost. If you use Yamato, you also have the Call of Him to increase damage taken. As you hear, damage won't be an issue. And as said on the revive, we have the bottom two. Remove all debuffs, attack and ore boost should be fine. And honestly, as long as you have just one of these New Year legends, you're going to be really good with damage, I'd say. The most important one is Yamato, but the free-to-play Jinbei is a pretty good replacement in terms of removing stuff. I was team building some other stuff here. This Jinbei, the free-to-play one, best replacement for Yamato. This Dex Jinbei handles the damage reduction, and he's also a Jinbei unit, so he still lets you use Luffy's super on stage 2. Zoro Sanji and Roger Odin doesn't really matter. Like, if you only have Yamato, you'll have to try and find... Yeah, it's hard to say. It doesn't really matter. As long as you have one of these, you're probably going to be fine. You don't have to change the main strat, I'd say. So, like, if you don't have Roger Odin, maybe stage 2 gets more annoying. If you go that route. If you don't have Zoro Sanji, maybe you use Roger Odin stage 3 instead. Stuff like that is things you have to consider when team building. But yeah, with that, let's go to the intrusion. And this one you can actually get full boost. The most annoying debuff for this one is obviously the bleed mechanic. But from the way I see it, you really don't have to care about it. The only thing that could be scary is if the Frank Captain Luffy auto launches, because that means you're low HP and he will maybe heal you to kill you. So that's the main thing I'd be worried about, but you'll probably have so much HP that you're not going to get into that range. It's important to have some support to remove poison, which I haven't put on the team, but there's a lot. Maybe not a lot, because Sanji is one of those supports, but the most accessible one is the Ivanko on Luffy. So just go with that, I'd say. Let's go stage for stage, I guess. One thing to note here is that Super Swap is only reduced by 6. So it's basically not going to be possible to get Yamato ready for final stage unless you stall a turn, stage 1, if that's even possible. If you don't do that, then C reduction is hard, but as I said, the best one is Nami. If not Nami, best bet is to use Yamato. Also, I didn't say this for the last team, but obviously if you don't have Yamato, you also have to consider how to handle the seed reduction. Nami support is not only Yamato, it can be put on a lot, but without Yamato you have to find some dedicated seed reducer for the team. Back here. So yeah, Nami is a good one, of course. Pretty much invaluable support for this treasure map in general, as you can see. But yeah, the cool thing with this is that if you have Zoro Sanji, stage 2 is literally free. Just super swap Zoro Sanji, use the special. You take 20,000 damage from bleed, but that's worth it. You're going to easily kill forever with that kind of damage. Then on the final stage, we have the paralysis and special bind. The Frank Captain Luffy handles both of those. special bind with the super, paralysis with the special. We talked a bit about special reverse. You don't have to care about attack down. Don't have to care about recover orbs you get. Rainbow orbs doesn't matter either really, since we get those from Luffy's special. So yeah, it's pretty much free, I guess. As I said, if you don't have Zoro Sanji, stage 2 is going to be a lot more annoying, like it's both threshold and F up. And if you look at those debuffs, it's just Zoro Sanji and the free-to-play Zoro, and I'm sorry to say that I haven't done the most extensive look, but realistically you will just be going for that Zoro. It will be good to find a way to block his bad ore boost somehow, but yeah, it's probably not a big deal. Like if you're not going for super high ranking, you can live with that as long as you have a lot of the other buffs. But yeah, here is really nothing super irreplaceable. Like you can just use as much as you can without getting too low HP. And I talked a bit about replacements already, how to think. Like without Yamato, you need to find some other seed reduction user. Without Roger Oden, you need to try and see what damage you can fit. Like you will already have attack boost from the Luffy. So maybe another ore booster, unless you run the Zoro Sanji, then they block it. Yamato also, of course, has Call-Off in it that could be bad. You definitely don't want to use the Whitebeard, by the way, with his HP cut. That's really bad. He's just here to boost the points if you have the option. And I was talking ore boost, but of course, the Luffy can do that. But of course, if you already used the Zoro, you can't really get that buff. Sadly. But yeah, I think this should be easy as long as you have one or all of the New Year Legends. Sorry for not posting teams, but honestly for Treasure Map, you have to team build after your box in the end. So I try to guide you a bit here and I hope it helped. So yeah, thanks for watching guys. See you next time.